My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah.
Hi, we're back with Tom Kohler, and we're talking about, well, we're all over the road. We're talking about mainly politics and public service, and yeah, I see what you did there. And I think we ended the regular show on talking about his future and standing on 202 with a bathrobe and throwing eggs at people that take illegal U-turns.
I don't need to anger people anymore. I already have enough people out there who probably don't like me, so I don't need to anger more people.
Well, I have road rage. I know it. I call it driving Tourette's. I can't have regular conversations on speakerphone when I'm driving, because if somebody pops out, there's no filter. There's no filter. I can't.
Oh yeah, no. I the number of times I've been in the car and somebody calls me and I know that they may be on speakerphone with their children in the car. I just go, hey, just so you know, I'm driving.
Yep.
Take it off speaker, or I'm not going to be held responsible for what might come out of my. It can be therapeutic in a way. Just to get that aggression out in a closed bubble, and then without anybody actually hearing you.
It's got to burn some calories. I mean,
I hope so.
If there's a rage diet, I mean,
the good news is now I think in over the years, and I can kind of spot where certain places where certain road issues are going to happen, that I can just try to understand that it's inevitable and there's nothing I can do about it. And just wish for a police officer to be at the intersection to pull them over.
Your wife said that you are a directional savant that cannot find his own keys.
True. Very true. Or the right pair of pants to wear, or absolutely. If the pants are at the store, I can go find them. I know what store to go get them at. I just can't find them in my own house.
But before the show, we talked about underwear. We had a long conversation because you refer back to our Christmas show. She talks about special underwear she got him that were expensive rich people underwear that everybody should get. I'm not going to say the name, but these you can hear it on the show. I think she said it there, and he said, "No, these aren't your, they're not your daily drivers of underwear. These are my traveling underwear.
These are $50 underwear.
$50 underwear.
$50 underwear, which I can honestly say I would have been upset if she had actually bought them.
Yeah,
but she didn't. So that was good. They are very, very comfortable. And for $50, they better be.
Right. I mean, for $50, I mean, that's like the underwear budget for like a year or two. Yeah.
I'm a 3 for $9.99 kind of guy, so that's my budget usually.
Yeah, my budget.
I more than 3. I'll buy 6 or 7.
Or they got the +1 pack,
right.
And you dig it through there to find, because now they've got them a +1, and you don't want to get the red ones in there. And my buddy had a guy. He was in the store, and the guy he said he's my underwear hero. He's in the store, he's buying underwear, and he's opening packages. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? Why is he opening them? And the guy said, I'm making a package of all black. And he said, I don't support the opening of packages, but I respect the one in the all black. Because they forced the green and the reds on us.
Of course.
Or
the orange or the powder blue. Yeah. No.
And I don't know how you roll, but when I'm down to the red underwear, that's when I'm wearing my cap and gown, and I'm just at laundry DEFCON 0.
Well, we don't certainly get that bad, but no, it's every now and then I just look down and there's new ones, because my wife is good like that she sees that it's time to replace, and all of a sudden I'll get a fresh pack.
Oh, she keeps you roadworthy.
She keeps me, as crazy as I may look, and as Tasmanian devilish as I might be when I walk into a room and running around doing things. I would be 10 times worse if it wasn't for her backing me up and making sure that I have clean clothes to wear, and not that I don't share in the household duties as well, but she pretty much is the rock that keeps our relationship going.
Well, it'd be real easy to get her to kick into a men don't do anything rad.
Nope. Don't do. I don't have that conversation. No, it's funny when she first moved in, we were engaged and we did have a conversation. She asked me to go move some box or something like that, and I said, "Well, okay, I'm in the middle of something. What do you do?" She's like, "Oh, that's a man's job." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Well, what are other man jobs?" She's like, "Oh, well, the yard work and heavy lifting and taking the trash out." And I said, oh, so does that mean women's jobs are cooking, cleaning, laundry? And she looked at me. I was like, that's what I thought. It's all fair game, right? Okay. So I do help with the laundry. I do help with the dishes and cooking, but we're a team. We do everything together.
But there are gender-based jobs without, I mean, it would sound sexist, but there are gender-based jobs.
I think there's jobs that one gender cares about more than the other.
Or is better at.
Well, I think like a clean house, I could let things pile up all over the place. I don't bother me, clutter and old mail, junk mail. It'll get to the trash can eventually. Doesn't bother me.
Right.
It tends to bother her. So that kind of stuff eventually,
But she might not care if the fire extinguishers are exploding.
right. Or the smoke alarm is working.
Right.
Or I'm not one of those guys that has, that loves his yard. My yard is not the nicest yard on the block. I don't spend enough time in it to justify.
You fantasize about paving it over sometimes?
Oh, if I could artificial turf the entire yard, that would be the best. That, and I want to get put those bars underneath your asphalt, your driveway that you can flip a switch and melt the snow.
Oh yeah.
I need to get that. Those two things would make the world a better place.
Heated driveway.
Driveway.
Yeah. I think there are some traditional gender jobs, which leads to another thing on your pet peeve list. They need us to make sure lids are tight and loosened, but you do not tolerate loose lids.
No, that's not true. I do tolerate them because I have to. Katie has a penchant for not exactly screwing the lid back onto a bottle of water or a jar of pickles or can of oil for cooking oil. So I go to pick it up and I go to squeeze the lid and all of a sudden it pops off and spills all over the place. Or the ice cube tray gets left out. She'll take a couple ice cubes out and forget to put it back in the freezer. So the entire tray of ice is now water again. But that's okay. I'm sure I have many pet peeves, or she has many pet peeves about me as well. So, for example, my closet is always a mess because nothing gets hung up properly. Just because I, again, don't care. I'll put it up on the shelf and I'll take it back down again when I'm ready to wear it again.
Right. It's what's the point? It's in and out, in and out. It's it's not on display.
So our closet space is very small. So I use the closet in the spare bedroom is where all my clothes are. And a lot of times I'll throw things on the spare bed or just whatever. And next thing you know, there's a pile of clothes. And she's like, I just cleaned that up in there 2 days ago. I'm like, well, why? I'm going to make a mess again.
Yeah.
just close the door and then you don't have to look at it.
That's what the door's for. Yeah.
She doesn't find that as amusing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys find that funny.
Yeah, I can just imagine what she's going to do when she listens to this. She said you've got strong opinions on cheesesteaks.
I do. It's radio, so you can't see, but you can tell I've had quite a few cheesesteaks in my lifetime. I do have a good certain ones I like and certain ones I stay away from. And
what makes a good cheesesteak?
The bread.
Mm-hmm.
The bread.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I didn't. You know who taught me that?
Oh.
Katie.
Yeah.
I always thought it was the meat. Until when we first started dating, she said, if you can't get good bread, you cannot have a good sandwich of any kind. And she is right, and she's Italian, so she should know.
We met over at she had brought me a sandwich once, and I made the mistake of saying that's good bologna, and it wasn't bologna; it was real salami, and I had never tasted it. It tasted really good, and so we went over to Eve's.
Yep.
And we met there last week to talk about something, and she. I was going to order, but then I said, I think I should wait because whatever I do, it's going to be wrong here. Until she gets here, and then she'll come in and
fix it.
Yeah, and she's like the Jackie O of Eve's when she walks in there.
She worked there for many years. I actually worked there a little bit on Saturdays for a while, taking cash. I was not capable of making a sandwich, so I was would work the register a couple Saturdays a month back in the day.
How do you order your cheesesteaks?
I'm actually an American with guy with onions. Every now and then I'll get Cheese Whiz, but I don't like the mess that it makes usually. So I usually like the American cheese. One of the steak places we like to go to a lot actually they have American, provolone, and Whiz, and they're all hot liquid. So it's all liquid cheese, just depending on what kind you like. So
do you have like, where are 3 steak places you like?
My usual go-to is Phillips Steaks at 23rd and Passyunk in South Philadelphia. It's a great place to go if you're going to the stadiums for an Eagles game or a Phillies game. It's easy off the Schuylkill, easy on, down by the refineries there. They make a great steak. Steve's Prince of Steaks up in Northeast Philly. That's the one that does the liquid cheeses. They've been one of our go-tos lately. And the newest one we found at a outpost out in South Jersey called Donkey's Place, which was,
I've heard of that.
It's always had notoriety. There's actually a bar in Camden that makes it. It was on one of those Anthony Bourdain shows. And then it was made famous again recently on an episode of The Goldbergs, which is the sitcom based in the 1980s in Jenkintown. And as soon as we saw that episode, Katie's like, we have to go find that place. And we did. We drove there, the second location out in the sticks in near Mount Laurel or somewhere out in Burlington, in the middle of nowhere, Voorhees, out that direction. And we found it, and it was delicious.
What made it better?
I don't know what made it better, but what made it different was they served it on a poppy seed Kaiser roll.
Interesting.
Which is completely sacrilegious to the cheesesteak community.
Yeah, in every way. I would think that would outrage you.
You would think, but I took one bite of it and I said, okay, I can get over it because it's really good. So I don't know what they do to it, but it is very good.
I used to get there was a truck that made these sweet potato pies, and they were little personal pies, and I would get them. I go to work, and when I did night shift, and I would get a little meal and a little pie for dessert, and I loved them, and I got them every week. And trucks go on one day, and years later, I bump into the owner of the truck, and I said, those pies, they were great, and what was the secret to those pies? Like you're talking about the Donkey's Place, and he said, oh, they were filled with rum. Like, whoa! I've been pie drunk for years.
Wow, that's that. I don't think you can get away with doing that nowadays. Just putting booze into food and not telling people.
Yeah, just have a pie that puts you over the legal limit.
My no, and I always tell people, and I used to work at King of Prussia Mall in a sports memorabilia store before I was in politics, and people would say, "Where do I get a cheesesteak? Where's a good place to get a cheesesteak? Should I go to Pat's or Gino's?" And I'd be like, "Neither." Do you? I don't
even get involved in that.
I always say, yeah, that's where you want to go here, and I would always tell them where someplace good to go.
It's too touristy.
Exactly.
I
Unless it's 2:30 in the morning and you're really hungry because you've been out at the bar all night.
And it's just down too far. I'm a D'Alessandro's guy.
I love D'Alessandro's. Now, I threw Donkeys in there because I thought that was just an interesting one, but D'Alessandro's is by far one of my favorites as well.
And Donkeys came up 2 weeks ago on the show. A guy was Brandon Hudson was going to Donkeys. He's going to try and go that night.
Okay.
So that's the second time I've heard that name. So I have to.
Yeah, it's the one in Camden and the bar. They're only open during the day, and it's only during the weekdays. They're not open on weekends. So when you schlep out on the weekend, you got to go to the one that's all the way out in their second place, Donkeys 2, TOO.
Donkeys 2.
Yeah. So
But
D'Alessandro, Katie got me onto D'Alessandro's when she was a student at LaSalle because it was right up Henry Avenue from LaSalle, and we would go there a lot. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah, always good, and I like Jim's at 4th and South.
Jim's is good. It's
good size.
Yeah.
It's a good size. It's just, it leaves you wanting.
Mm-hmm. There's John's Roast Pork is another good place that's down in South Philadelphia. My father-in-law, Katie's dad, for his business, he drives all over the city, and he's found lots of out-of-the-way places that we've been fortunate enough to check out, or they make it into Philly Mag every summer. We make a note we need to check it out. So
I'm also the movie Die Hard.
The best Christmas movie ever.
Now people don't see it, but it is actually a Christmas
There are two types of people in this world. Those who think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and those who are wrong.
Right.
And I fall into the first category. It's on Christmas Eve. There's Christmas music playing. It's a Christmas movie. And it's got a happy ending.
It's got a happy ending, and there's snow. It's redemption.
It's one of my favorite action movies. It's one of those movies. It's actually now on heavy rotation on one of the the 10 HBOs we get. So as I'm flipping through and it comes on, Katie just shakes her head. She's like, "We're not watching that for the 45th time." I'm like, no.